Good morning everybody, welcome back to a Chart Nerd technical analysis video. Today we will be discussing Dimitra, the ticker is DMTR, against USDT on the daily time frame. Today we're going to be analyzing the Gaussian channel. You can get this on your charts by going to indicators and typing in Gaussian, and it is the top, if I can spell it right, it's the top one here. Donovan will click it and add it onto your charts. It's great to help with trend direction and momentum and potential trend changes. So if we look at Gaussian here on the daily, you will notice that we actually flipped from green to red, which is indicating a downtrend for Dimitra, and this was on the 14th of May 2024. Now what you'll notice is that during this downtrend we've lost the Gaussian. We hit our heads on it many times. We've in fact rallied up to the mid band of the Gaussian once, came out of it again in a lower low, rallied up to near the mid band of the Gaussian twice, another lower low, and right now we're attempting to rally up to this mid band of the Gaussian once more. So there are three types of bands on the Gaussian. You've got the top band, the mid band, and the low band. When you're above them and holding support on these bands, this is an uptrend. When you're below them and hitting your heads on resistance, this is indicating you're in a downtrend. Now, what I wanted to look at in regards to this Gaussian was potential prior corrections, and when we was in this sort of red zone, where did we bottom out and what happened once we did in prior corrections? So if we zoom out and go back to this low here, which was in the 18th of October, what you'll notice is once we actually lowballed out, we had this higher low where we came back for a low, rallied up to the Gaussian low band, came back for a higher low, and then just melted through the Gaussian channel. Right now, we've got something similar where we've got this low, we've come up, come back for a higher low, and we're starting to break out into this Gaussian channel. So on this instance back here, you'll notice that we actually had this massive daily candle on October the 24th of 2023, and we just took off above the Gaussian, and this eventually led to the red flipping into green and starting this uptrend where we held the Gaussian channel in the mid band for many months all the way until February before getting above it, back testing the top band, and then exploding to these local highs that we're retracing from. So right now what we need to see is this low and this double bottom, very similarly to what we had here, where we had this double bottom here and we actually broke out. If this is a rinse repeat of what we've just been through previously, we need to see this week a clean break above the top band of the Gaussian, which is at 12 cents. For this to be the same sort of low balling out pattern where we've come back down to these lows, we have to start breaking above the mid band and especially the top band in order to confirm that we're looking to flip the switch and start reversing the rolls here. And these would be the lows in. Now there is also another correction that I wanted to look at, and this is the all-time low for DMTR if we zoom in over here. And very similarly again, you'll notice we had this sort of low balling out, sort of hovered around, put in a small double bottom here. Eventually we rallied up to the top band of the Gaussian, came back for a higher low, and then melted out. So on this instance, we still, after bottoming out underneath this correction, we still rallied to the top band. Very similar to here where we broke out and we actually melted through the top band of the Gaussian. So in both instances, we've either seen continuation to the top band of the Gaussian, or we've seen it break out and sort of hold above it. So for a third time in a row, the fact that we have put in this little double bottom structure down here, we have started coming up into the Gaussian. Are we going to rally up to the top end of this Gaussian and then come back for a higher low before melting out, or could we potentially just melt out in this week? These are just some things that I wanted to point out for us in regards to the Gaussian and prior corrections where we have been in downtrends, we've lowballed out, formed a double bottom, and eventually started a new trend or reversed the trend. Same way down here, you was in this downtrend, you came down, you formed this sort of triple bottom base here, broke out, came back for a high level of support, and then just melted out. We are doing something very similar that we've done in prior corrections, and that's just something to keep an eye on. So the resistance points for us are the middle band here, which currently sits at 10 cents, and the top band, which sits at around 13 cents. So these are two levels of resistance we need to keep an eye on in the coming days to see how we close out in the next couple of weeks. It would be nice to see us actually run up here and come back for a higher low somewhere before exploding. Now, getting the Gaussian channel off, if we go to the weekly time frame, what I wanted to point out is that currently what I was looking for here for DMTR was this break of resistance. I think I was doing some analysis a couple of weeks ago and I was saying that we're potentially in this massive ascending triangle here where we've got this key level of support, where we've had multiple points of contact over the last couple of years on this trend line, and equally this was our formed resistance at 0.0973. Now on March the 11th, the week of March the 11th, we actually melted through this resistance, put in a higher high, and are now coiling back in this channel underneath resistance. And what you'll notice is we actually lost this previous level of resistance that I was hoping to hold as support. We've lost it, but we've come back in and touched base on this trend line. So right now we are literally caught between a rock and a hard place, between key resistance at 0.10 and key ascending support. So this is where I think a potential decision is going to be made, because we do have this descending level of resistance on our head that we're currently running into equally right now, and we've also got this descending level of support. So this is some sort of flag or falling channel, but it's just indicating whether this is the low. So for us to confirm it, what we need to see DMTR do is start of breaking out of the resistance, holding above that resistance over here that I'm talking about at 10 cents, and getting above it, holding it as support, looking for continuation of the trend. Equally failing that, if we do come back here inside this channel still, if we could break resistance but coil up over the next couple of weeks in this real tight apex here, then we can get a break. Ideally, if you're sitting on the sidelines and waiting to get involved, not financial advice, but it might just be an idea to either wait for a confirmational break of resistance or either wait for a confirmational loss of support, because at this point this could indicate that we are going to come back for another potential higher low. Now if we do, or if we have already put the bottom in here, if we get a fib in from this low back to the local high, we have key resistance above at 13 cents. 13 cents right now. If we do start breaking out, this is where we could see the rally into resistance, back test this previous resistance as support, and then look to get out of the neck of the woods here and start retracing back to 26 cents where we've come from. So we need to see the break of this prior resistance at 10 cents, and we also need to see 13 cents broke in order to see continuation to the upside here, in my opinion. Equally, this ascending trend line also has to hold on the weekly time frame. My targets still remain. I think we don't have any bearish structure right now, in my opinion, strictly because we've got this low, we've got a high, we've got a higher low. Right now we've got a higher high, and currently speaking we've got another higher low. So the market structure is still technically bullish. The only way to invalidate this is if you start coming back and losing previous lows on the chart here, and we just start kerfuffling through the support levels. So right now there isn't anything overly bearish. We're literally caught between a rock and a hard place, coiling up here, looking for the breakout. And if we can get it, fantastic. If not, and we do come back for a lower level of support, where could that be? So we'll get a fib on from this local high, back down to this local low of which we came from, and we could just get a key level of support right now. And what you'll notice actually is quite ironic. In this correction, in this sort of downward channel that we've been in, we've fallen back to the 0.50 at 0.0614, or just shy of it, just shy of that target. So potentially if we do start coming back here and losing support, just look for a retest of 0.0614 and fail to hold that, we could also be coming back into the 0.618, which you'll notice was this previous cluster of resistance back from November up until February. So, and since we've come up underneath this resistance, what you'll notice is since breaking out of this resistance, we haven't actually come back yet to back test it as support. So could we be breaking this resistance, come up to this technical target, put in the higher high to this high? So we've got a higher high here, and right now we're just sort of trying to graft our way back down to this key level before getting the next impulsive leg in. That is also a potential. And what you'll notice is this channel where we're currently running up into resistance could go on for another few weeks here and seem quite ferocious, because you will be losing this ascending support, okay? And it will put the fear of God into people if this was the case and we did lose support. But we do have key levels below that are still higher than this previous low, that we could get an opportunity in the coming weeks to get involved. Now, I'm not saying this is the case. Again, I like to look at all potentials. Get back above this resistance at 10 cents, then I think we are looking to start marching our way back to 25 cents, and this low is in here. That's a potential. But as I mentioned, we do have key resistance above at 13 cents. We have key resistance, and equally we are running into this resistance of the April 23 high as we speak. Okay, so as I said to you, we wanted to hold it as support, but we ran up to the 0.618, we lost it as support, we came back to support on the ascending trend line and the 0.50, and right now we're stuck between a rock and a hard place, trying to find out where the next move is here. So not financial advice, guys. I hope you did enjoy the content. And just to clarify, I think I'm looking here for this massive ascending triangle, because we've broken out of this resistance, put this higher high in, and we're currently holding a higher level of support than the previous lows and this ascending support line. I still think that we are looking to potentially run back up to this local candle closes at these all-time highs here, which is a technical target of this ascending triangle breakout of $3.60 and a potential move from current price of around 3,300%. Again, this isn't financial advice. I'm just showing you what this really large ascending triangle pattern is telling me. We've got this ascending level of support. Okay, we've got this ascending level of support, and we've got this horizontal level of resistance. And once you start breaking out of that and holding above it as support, you're looking, you know, to start coming up to these highs, tackling them out, and pushing onto the technical target of the breakdown of this ascending triangle. So that would be my, I think, would be my target for DMTR this cycle. And yeah, that's a quick update for me, guys, on DMTR. I hope you enjoyed the content today. If you did, please do give it a like, a comment, and a subscribe. Hit that notification bell. None of this is financial advice and was all for educational and entertainment purposes only. Thank you, guys. Take care. Peace out.